My milkshake brings all the boys to the yard, and they're like, I'm not a good lord, damn right. He's not a good lord, I could teach you with my ogre charge. Yeah, it's true. Greasus is a fat piece of crap. And in this video, I'm gonna talk about why. It's the Goldtooth tribe versus the delirious, the diabolical demons of Slaanesh. And units that have been in the series for quite a while now are rising to the top of the ogre meta. So, in my opinion, Greasus is the worst ogre lord in battle, and it's not particularly close. The main issue, of course, is something that many of you have experienced in your own campaigns thus far. He's incredibly slow, has a huge hitbox, so all the other huge hitbox and high mass units in the roster inevitably prevent him from reaching his target and doing real damage. So he kind of just sits there like a dope, dry humping his own troops on top of his garbage mount, not doing anything. The Slaanesh matchup is a very weird one for him, because at 35 speed, you will never catch anything important with Greasus. But they can't kite forever, and they only have melee troops, so at some point, they have to come and fight him. Is it worth having a 2300 gold lord who can only make a noticeable impact in late game duels? I don't know. Let's find out. Everyone has their price. The Scepter of Titans, Horde Master, and the Overtyrant's Crown are far from useless abilities, and he has a massive HP pool with 15% missile resist, so his stat line is scary. It's just a situation where a lot of races can outright ignore him for the majority of a battle. Now, this is very clearly a deliberate attempt to stay away from the crazy top-tier ogre troops. No Gorgers, no Iron Blasters, but honestly, Man-Eaters are feeling quite strong themselves at the moment. I'm not sure if anything changed between Game 2 and Game 3 for them, but they just seem better. Both variants do. Armor's kind of useless for Slaanesh anyway, and their high base stats and immune to psychology keeps them fighting long past the point other ogre troops would rout. So once you get past the OP stuff, Man-Eater pistols seem to be the ogre's top performer right now. They are very, very good, and they're fun to use. I like them a lot. So, 2 Man-Eater pistols, 2 Man-Eater great weapons, 2 Saber-Tusk pack, some ogre bulls, bunch of Noblars, and a butcher with Troll Guts and Bull Gorger. Troll Guts is an amazing heal. Bull Gorger is a spammable melee attack buff, although that will be nice for the dueling and anything when units get too close. Across the valley come the hordes of Slaanesh, led by an Exalted Keeper, with Seductive Glory, Ballet of Blows, Miasma, Enfeebling Foe, and Occam's Mindrazor, which means she will be terrifying in duels. And Soul Siphon, paired with Feasting on Fear, works great versus ogres because they generally have somewhat low morale, which means more regen for her. But remember, Greasus will confer ITP to anything around him and a 5% ward save, so that'll deal with some of the terror problems that ogres sometimes face. In the rear are the Fiends of Slaanesh, awesome unit through and through, and they'll be supported by a gaggle of Gungan cavalry straight from Naboo, the Hellstriders with spears, which are one of the most useful units in their entire arsenal, especially against ogres, rounded out with a bunch of Marauder spears, whips, and 4 Chaos Furies, and that Slaaneshi build has just about everything it needs to take down an ogre army. So, as the battle gets underway, it's skirmish time, and Man-Eater pistols can punish both infantry and cavalry alike. When they fire, their volleys will penetrate multiple ranks of infantry, and that can be quite devastating to Marauder units, or really anything that has a decent amount of armor as well, because those Man-Eaters have a decent AP split from range. Now, normally you can kind of afford to ignore the fodder spears as other races. They rout quickly, they have bad stats, not a big deal, right? But the entire ogre army here is 40 armor or less, which means massed, cheap spears, alongside all those Hellstriders, will put the whooping on Man-Eaters bad. So, drive-by shooting time on Crenshaw Boulevard, get your Glock 19s, pop off a few rounds, and then get the hell out before they close into stabby range. I don't remember if Man-Eater pistols could cut down multiple ranks of infantry like that in Game 2. I also don't remember if their guns were AP majority back then either, but good opening volleys for them all the same. They will need to retreat behind the Noblars, and you can see some of those unit responsiveness issues here. Very slow to maneuver after they've been given a command. It was actually like 3 or 4 seconds before they actually got their asses moving after they were told to retreat. And that is going to catch out these Man-Eaters. Yeah, moving real slow on the retreat there. Yeah, that was... damn! That was literally like 4 or 5 seconds before they moved. You can see the command go through, but they're having none of it. Hellstriders will make it into melee, making first contact, but there are plenty of Ogre Bulls waiting in reserve, and with the Saber-Tusk pack coming in as well, that should be fine for the Ogre peoples. Now, this is an interesting fight over here. The Furies charging in from the rear. They were Vanguard deployed behind the Ogre army, and that's a great engagement for them. That's cost efficiency in a nutshell. Man-Eaters, with all that AP and bonus for storage, do not want to be fighting swarms of Furies. They have no way to clear them out quickly and efficiently, so they'll actually take a ton of damage. And Chaos Furies are one of those units that are just hitting way above their weight class. Very cost-effective, very useful unit in a lot of circumstances in the multiplayer scene. Very good. Across the board, all 4 factions, they're fantastic. And Greasus, well, something must be wrong with his medulla oblongata. I'm helping, friends! Colonel Sanders coming in with the drumstick of doom, flailing about and carving a path of ruin through these overextended light cav. Shame the steeds get sent back to the warp when they die. Probably tastes like chicken. Saber-Tusk Pack moving to the rear to reinforce the Man-Eaters, who are left to fend for themselves for a minute there. And very intelligently, Slaanesh will retreat as the Lions close in for the kill. I will say one more useful thing about Greasus here is that he's not in any danger of being sniped. A Slaughtermaster would be in big-time danger against a Keeper. Greasus can hold his own in that fight and maybe even win if they go toe-to-toe. But for now, content to bonk some horny boys, and in the meantime, Hellstriders screaming in from the flank. Now, this is a big-time Troll Guts. The Man-Eaters would have been overwhelmed by all the mobility out on this side, but the well-timed heal will prevent them from even losing a model while they batter down the mobility for the Dark Prince, and this is where their stats really come into play. They're not particularly tanky, but their high melee defense and their incredible melee attack values combined with that 26 bonus for Large will see them absolutely shred through any Slaaneshi light cav that gets sent their way. What could be dangerous for them is obviously the Keeper, Enfeebling Foe lowering those really high stats, or the Fiends of Slaanesh with their soporific Musk, because they can pick and choose their engagement perfectly, and they will be debuffing you whenever they actually commit to the fight. What you're seeing right now is pretty much the core issue that all Ogre range troops face, whether it be Lead Belchers, Man-Eater Pistols, what have you. Chaos Furies in this game can charge them from the rear and kind of nullify some of their amazing stats, and because of that low armor and their high melee attack and weapon strength, it hurts like hell if you're a Lead Belcher or a Man-Eater Pistol, and it just makes it very difficult for them to stay online and firing. There was a Dismember in the back line trying to cut down the speed of those Hellstriders and Fiends who charged in. Greasus and a bunch of Ogre Bulls fighting in the center alongside the Noblars, trying to push through all the infantry while the Exalted Keeper of Secrets gets in there and starts shutting down the Man-Eater Pistol play, and she's got the melee stats to really silence them quickly. And meanwhile, we've got Greasus with a whopping 250 damage value 3.5 minutes into the game. He's killed some Hellstriders, he's killed some infantry, but that is not racking up the damage value so far. And now with the Keeper and a bunch of highly mobile stuff in the back line, shutting down the Man-Eater Pistols, how does he close the gap and prevent them from doing so? Well, he doesn't. He's going to trundle over there and kind of enjoy the spectacle for a while. If he can manage to get his chubby fingers wrapped around the throat of that Keeper of Secrets, he could do a lot of damage. But it takes him agonizingly long to get anywhere with 35 speed. And even if he does manage to close into melee range, Keeper has enough mass and speed to instantly get the hell away. And that's what it's going to do. I mean, it has no reason to get anywhere near him, and will take the opportunity to go influence the battle somewhere else. A rear charge into Ogre Bulls that are currently pinned down by a bunch of Marauder Spears. Certainly not a bad idea. Now, we haven't called the Fiend's name much yet, but they have an opportunity to make a huge impact here, because they just routed off the Man-Eater weapons with a nice flank charge. So Perfect Must did a bunch of work there, and now charging into the Noblars to break the Ogre's left flank and open up everything for Slaanesh on that side. Coming in with the Keeper as well, they are completely taking control over on that half of the battlefield, and that will leave Greasus and the rest of his bodyguards kind of isolated up on top of that hill. Man-Eater weapons did return to the fight, and it looks like they will get a duel with the Fiends of Slaanesh. Personally, I don't think you need to send the Fiends in there. You're going to win that fight anyway. Just wait until they're committed elsewhere, rear charge. No reason to take a straight-up fight, especially not when Saber-Tusk Pack are nearby. I get wanting to get them off the field, but they're going to do a lot of damage with the remaining HP they have. Still going to be a Slaaneshi victory out on this side. Both the Man-Eater weapons and the Saber-Tusk Pack will crumble out, disappear, and be run down. Greasus making it rain with the dollary dues. Everyone has their price. Minus 24 melee attack and minus 8 leadership on those Hellstriders, and the Butcher charging downhill into the middle of the infantry while the Man-Eater Pistols unleash with their Gats and get some of those sick point-blank volleys in. The infantry is not going to last long under those withering salvos and crushing mass of the Ogre charge. Meanwhile, Keeper of Secrets is still causing all kinds of problems, still full HP too, and Greasus may be the only answer the Ogres have for dealing with her. Maybe not the worst answer ever, if they can actually come to blows. We'll see if that happens. Meanwhile, Ogre Bulls, yeah, they're not in a good spot. And we've got, what is this ability called again? Sweet Sorrow. It's the tier 3 ability for Slaanesh. It will literally take any unit that's exhausted and make them fresh, which in a late game scenario is incredible. I mean, we already know how impactful those stat debuffs are. When you're exhausted, you lose all kinds of melee stats, all kinds of armor, morale, what have you. All of that gets fixed when you have a map-wide army ability that turns all of your units fresh in a handful of seconds and gives them a 25% speed boost as well. So really powerful tier 3 army ability coming out, and it's allowing the Hellstriders to close in and pick off some of these man-eater pistols, while a Rampage kicks in. Seductive Glory, minus 24 melee defense, forcing both the Butcher and the man-eater pistols to fight in a scenario they really don't want to, but there is a Dismember coming out too. The hit to light cav will prevent them from disengaging, and if the Keeper wants to run away, won't be able to. But I don't think she wants to. She has Occam's Mindrazor popped, and now she's going to kill the Mage, or she'll try to anyway. That could be a huge pick. Ballet of Blows is activated. Occam's Mindrazor is activated. Her melee stats are absurd right now. Almost 800 weapon strength, and that's only in the first stage of BOB. Everyone has their price now down on the Keeper of Secrets, while the Fiends of Slaanesh charge in from the rear. And all the way in the back of the map, we have some Saber-Tusk pack that have been rampaged for a long-ass time. Let's keep an eye out on them, because there might be something weird going on over there. Keeper decides to run away, which is very intelligent considering Greasus was about to finally catch up to her. And that hellish, freakish creature will continue doing what it's been doing the entire battle, which is causing all kinds of morale issues, healing off them, and charging in from the flank to devastate all these large troops with her bonus for large and armor piercing. Bullgorger on the Man-Eater's Great Weapons. Okay, so those were the ones attacked by the Chaos Furies in the beginning of the game, and they're actually decently healthy for this stage, which could be a big problem for that Keeper, because they have the mass and the bonus for large to really punish her if she's forced into a melee grind. Greasus is still full health, and those Saber-Tusk pack are still rampaging in the back of the map. Fiends coming in from the flank now. Occam's Mindrazor down on the Keeper of Secrets, but maybe not enchanted at the right time, not making full use of the spell. Popped it when she was looking to disengage, and now a lot of these Slaaneshi troops are starting to waver and rout. The Fiends are still fine, and the Keeper is still a huge issue. And look at the HP she's about to get back. So she's at 4,600 right now. All these Noblars routing around her, this is what she can prey on. Yeah, that'll easily get up to about 4,900 health in a couple of seconds here. And yeah, it's at 40% intensity at the moment. So Feasting on Fear, putting in some serious work at the moment, but she'll need it if she wants to take on Greasus. And in the back of the map, they're still rampaged. They've officially killed off that entire unit, and they are still rampaged. I might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's not how Rampage is supposed to work, especially if the unit is relatively healthy. I don't think they're supposed to be stuck in Rampage state, not doing anything for that long. I'm pretty sure it's supposed to wear off, but maybe I'm incorrect here. It doesn't matter. They would love to have those Saber-Tusk pack. They're still hiding at the edge of the map. We've got a major duel on our hands here. Greasus and the Keeper of Secrets going at it. Ballet of Blows activated. Everyone has their price. Enfeebling Foe, Bullgorger, Seductive Glory. Literally every buff and debuff imaginable is being popped in this duel to try to turn it. And if the Keeper is able to rout Greasus, Slaanesh will win the game. But if that Keeper melts to the bonus versus large of the Scepter of Titans, well, then it's certainly going to be the game for the Ogres. And it looks like Greasus is taking a lead in this duel for sure. He's down to half HP, but the Keeper is down to 1/4, 1/5 now. And one or two more attacks might be enough. Occam's Mindrazor still not enough to allow this Keeper to go toe-to-toe with the Over Tyrant. And Greasus, who had 250 damage value going into that final duel, skyrocketed up to 2,000 in a matter of seconds. because he landed about 4 or 5 attacks in a row on a Greater Demon of Slaanesh. So 2,000 damage value for a battle that went for that long, maybe not incredible, but kind of proves the point in this instance that there are at least a few factions, the melee-centric ones, like Nurgle, like Slaanesh, where Greasus can come out and make some sort of impact, even if he feels anemic for the majority of the battle, because at some point, that Keeper, or a Great Unclean One, or a Bloodthirster will have to go fight him, and that is when he can hit like a goddamn Mack truck with his Scepter of Titans. They gave him Strength 10 on the tabletop, one of the most powerful weapons or items in all of Warhammer Fantasy Battle. So, he did okay there. Keeper was also quite beastly, but we already knew that they can make a big impact no matter what. The Maneaters, I've been very impressed with them. This wasn't the best showcase I've seen for them. I think they were used relatively okay here, but I like them in this matchup. Especially if they can't get shot by anything, they can do all kinds of work for you, and in both domination mode and in regular land battles, I think the Maneater pistols are quickly becoming one of the best Ogre units in the entire roster. And maybe people were sleeping on them a little bit because of just how powerful the Iron Blasters and Gorgers are. But really interesting game, super fun, went down right to the wire, and a cool showcase for Greasus, even if he is a fat tub of lard. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you all in the next one. Peace out.